Hey guys, it's RVB Freak. Today I'm taking a step outside of what I normally do to talk about an issue that's been bugging me since I beat Mass Effect 3. I've been playing with the idea of making this video, but ultimately, the thing that made me actually go through with this is Ares' post on Wiki Game Guides, it's on the front page, on how disappointing he thought the ending was. Be prepared, because this contains spoilers. I agree with Ares completely. The ending kinda gargled nutsack, and was a last minute change from what they had planned. I'm going to assume this random tapped on piece of shit ending was due to the leak of the script last November, and Martin Sheen, the voice of the Elusive Man, had his recording session delayed for the writers to finesse the ending a bit, and the script was leaked after his session, so that probably explains why everything after the confrontation of the Elusive Man made no sense whatsoever. What I really don't get, though, is how they still managed to fuck up a seemingly perfect game. They had 3 months to come up with something else so that fans would be surprised. But in reality, I came up with a better, more emotional ending on a 30-minute drive to school. I'm not even joking. Instead, we have the infamous RGB ending with an 8-year-old kid hologram thing that makes no sense whatsoever. Although closure was what fans were looking for, I don't really think that's what sparked so much outrage. What really made people out for blood is the fact that BioWare lied to the fans by stating that there were going to be 16 different endings that included all of your major choices throughout the trilogy. And this can be classified as false advertisement. Someone, and I don't consider this a good idea in the least, but someone actually went through the trouble of reporting EA to the Federal Trade Commission and Better Business Bureau for a game that delivered so much until the last 10 minutes. This dude must have been like the king of all jackasses, because that is such a douche move. That aside, some really cool things have actually come out of the situation. I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen such a devoted fan base as to donate $80,000, and that amount is still rising, to the Child's Play charity, which is a charity run by Penny Arcade. But yeah, they donated $80,000 to a charity in hopes that it will make a huge enough impact on BioWare to fix the ending. And the movement's called Retake Mass Effect 3. It's got about 50,000 Facebook likes and made major news outlets such as Forbes. Forbes has picked up on the story and has published several articles about this cause. Many major gaming websites have been slamming Retake Mass Effect 3 supporters by portraying them as like whiny, spoiled fans who don't know what art is. But Forbes defended the movement, claiming that the review sites were biased because of the copious amounts of advertising space that EA bought. And this actually kind of goes back to the GameSpot Kate and Lynch review fiasco where Jeff Gerstmann, I think his name is, got fired because he gave it a bad score. And that was actually proven to be true. And BioWare's been defending themselves as claiming to be proud of the ending and that it was an artistic kind of ending. But I don't see how this is art. I mean, is it because there's 3 different colors? I don't know. Casey Hudson was said to have written the Catalyst, who's the little kid. It seems that when he wrote it, he had the ending of Inception in mind, where fans would speculate what happens after the ending. I'm not even joking. It's been proven in Mass Effect 3: The Final Hours. It's an iPad app where it's the final hours of the production of the game. But Casey Hudson wrote down on a piece of paper this line: "Lots of speculation for everyone." And he wrote this and they went with it. You can't end a fucking trilogy with speculation. You can't. How the writers didn't even consider the possibility of fan retaliation is totally beyond me. For such a massive, so immersed, dare I say it, almost perfect game, in my opinion, why would you even risk it? Why would you throw away the past 5 years worth of fan support over something that could turn out good, but most likely would be shit in the eyes of fans? And people are so disappointed with that ending that they now have made up theories to explain exactly what happens, because the ending is just a jumbled mess filled with plot holes and just random scenes that were thrown together like some fucking 6th grade movie attempt. My personal favorite, and currently really like the only logical one, is the indoctrination theory. It actually fixes most, if not all, of the plot holes of like the last 10 minutes of the game. It even goes back to events of the first game when you meet that AI. It's hard to explain. But anyway, I'm not going to go into specifics, but it basically states that Shepard was under Reaper control and dreamt everything after being hit by Harbinger's laser when he was running to go to the Citadel. You know an ending is bad when fans want to believe that it was all a dream. And how can you find this art in the least? I just don't get it. What's even worse is that since the indoctrination theory fits so perfectly with the game, players suspect that it could have been BioWare's plan all along. And if this is true, it means that BioWare sold us an incomplete game, and they plan on selling DLC in the future for a real ending, and that is just beyond unacceptable. Yesterday, March 21st, Ray Muzica, I think that's how you say his name, he is one of the founders of BioWare. He released a statement saying that they were working on content and that it would be announced in April, and that they were proud of the ending. I'm not going to get into that, but you can read all about it on the BioWare blog. Anyway, this is probably going to be announced during PAX East. This will save a lot of hate on the BioWare booth come the 6th, because I remember hearing about people who were going to wear those full body suits in the colors of red, green, and blue, and all ask the same question. I heard someone was actually going to do that, which I think would be funny, but they have a chance to redeem themselves, so that's good. But I really hope BioWare fixes the ending. An Inception ending doesn't belong at the end of a massive trilogy that's followed by millions. Maybe someone could pull it off somehow, but they obviously didn't do it right. The whole situation's been a PR nightmare, and people are actually returning their copies. Both EA's Origin service and Amazon are accepting open box refunds. Well, Origin's, you can just get a refund and you can't play the game anymore because it's digital. But they've been returning their copies in hope that EA will listen. And these returns are hurting EA's quarterly profit, and it shows. Stocks have dropped, and people have actually canceled their Old Republic membership until additional content is released that fixes this. I mean, if you don't believe me, go to BioWare social network forums or Reddit r/Mass Effect, because there are images of people doing this. BioWare could have easily salvaged their reputation by responding to complaints faster, but instead they waited like 3 weeks after the fact that fans were displeased, and all they said in response to every single complaint was, "We are listening to your feedback," or "Thanks for giving us your feedback." This PR should be fired. They've handled this like shit. They're using really old deflection tactics, and it's just not working, and people are pissed. In fact, there's this post on the BioWare social network that I've been following, where an actual retired PR guy has been identifying their tactics and shutting them down, saying, "Oh, they're saying this because of this." It's really interesting to read, actually, so if you have free time, go and check it out. Anyway, I think that about ends my ranting. BioWare could have really done something cool with the conclusion of the series, but they made a terrible decision. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, though, and that hopefully it's given you some insight as to all what's been going on, because a lot more has happened than face value. You need to dig deeper into this situation to fully understand everything that's been happening. Also, I'm returning from my hiatus soon, and I'm going to start posting content regularly on Wiki Game Guides again, probably next month, so stay tuned. Anyway, I'll see you guys around. I'm RVB Freak, and I am done talking.